No.
What about who? What's going to happen to them for doing that to us? And that's what they're doing. We're telling you, come back to these books. Come back to these laws, statutes, and commandments. We're calling them to mind amongst our PhD scholars, our brilliant black men and black women, Hispanic men, Hispanic women, right? Our people with BS degrees, right? Our young men and women in these high education, scholarly roles, right? And low education, right? And destitute, and damn strung out and beat down by America. We're calling all of you back. Right? But you don't want to be the greatest people that ever lived. Right? You want to be with Mr. Blanca. Right? You want to be with the Chinese, the Japanese, the Arabs. Right? You don't want to be the greatest people that ever graced the face of the earth. Right? You don't want that life. So this is the commands and the demands God is setting before the Israelites. Right? You black Native Americans and Hispanics. Chapter 15.
The book of Deuteronomy, chapter 30 and verse 15. Yeah. See, I have set before thee this day life and good and death and evil.
So that's what he set before the Israelites. Life, good, death, and evil. You don't have free will because you have a choice. Someone with free will, they don't need a choice. They do whatever the hell they want to do. Right? Like if they don't want to die or if they don't want to get shot, right? They don't have it. But you don't have a free will, you have a choice. And you Israelites have the greatest choice known to man. You can serve the Most High God of heaven and earth, or you can perish. You brothers, y'all so-called black men, right, this is Mom, right? Y'all know y'all the Israelites of the Bible? You sure? You shake your head. You know, Mom? You trust your name, Mom? All right. Go back to Zechariah chapter 1 and start at verse 2. Right? The blacks, Native Americans, and Hispanics that y'all put and killed and murdered and lynched are the children of the Most High God. Right? And you're going to have to pay for that. That's not free blood. That blood is very expensive. It's going to cost America. Right? And 2/3 of the earth is going to have to burn because of what y'all did to the Israelites. That's why Putin's son gung-ho to drop nukes. That's why it's all this nuke talk. Y'all think it's because Putin, he's just this violent man. No, God is stirring his spirit to drop nukes on the earth. Right? And he doesn't even know it. He thinks he's doing the right thing. He thinks he's being just. No, he's wicked as hell. Trump is wicked as hell. Biden is wicked as hell. They're being used by God. God is in control, not those men. Go ahead.
The book of Zechariah, chapter 1 and verse 3. Therefore say thou unto them, thus saith the Lord of hosts, turn ye unto me, saith the Lord of hosts, and I will turn unto you, saith the Lord of hosts. Be ye not as your fathers, unto whom the former prophets have cried, saying, thus saith the Lord of hosts. Thus saith the Lord of hosts. Turn ye now from your evil ways, and turn from your evil doing. But they did not hear, nor hearken unto me, saith the Lord.
But y'all don't want to hear or hearken unto the Most High God. Right? He asks you to turn. He's telling you, he's sending men all over this nation, all over this world. Pretty much. To hearken, to turn unto him. Y'all don't want to do that. Y'all want to be like your fathers. Right? Your wicked, evil, disgusting, filthy fathers. I don't mean to talk about our foreparents, but we wouldn't be in this dire situation if it wasn't for our foreparents. Right? We wouldn't be getting our backs whipped. Right? We would have been burned at the stake and castrated. Right? If our forefathers would have kept the commandments, we wouldn't have had an Emmett. Right? It wouldn't be all this homosexual activity going on the earth. Right? It wouldn't be wicked pastors talking about something, that's God, and we can eat all these abominable things. Right? What verse you on?
5.
Right, keep going.
Your fathers, where are they? And the prophets, do they live forever?
Do the prophets live forever? it's rhetorical. No, nobody lives forever. So the prophets do not live forever. Right? And they can't go plead to the Most High forever for it. There will be a big day of judgment where you're going to have to take accountability for your actions. Right? I know the white man thinks he's going to rule the earth forever, but no, he's not. And if he thinks that, he's sadly mistaken. Go ahead.
But my words and my statutes, which I command my servants the prophets, did they not take hold of your fathers? And they returned and said, like as the Lord of hosts thought to do unto us, according to our ways and according to our doings, so hath he dealt with us.
According to our ways and our doings, so has he dealt with us. Right? You brothers and sisters, y'all know y'all the Israelites? Y'all might be the Hebrews. No? Where you from, kid? You from? Your parent, your family from DC? Right? You never heard you might be the Israelites in the Bible?
Right.
The so-called blacks, Native Americans, and Hispanics are the children of the Most High God. You ever heard that? You think so? Right? You ever heard of diaspora? Diaspora. Right? You know, you read the Bible? Y'all know about the Bible, the scriptures? This is probably the most important information you're going to hear, because it's going to be a great judgment on the earth. Pretty soon, God is raising up Putin to nuke America. That's in the Bible. The people that were born here in slavery, we were taken here because we were disobedient to our God. Right? So God brought us over here to serve out our last captivity. Blacks, Native Americans, and Hispanics. We were oppressed together in the same land. The children of God, we were oppressed together in the same land. Right?
We were disobedient.
Right, we were disobedient. So God put us into slavery. He said, get right before my son comes back. When Christ comes back, he's killing a lot of people. You understand? So, real quick, bring down Deuteronomy chapter 28. If you read the Bible, y'all got any inclination to go in this book after y'all talk to me, go into the book of Deuteronomy chapter 28. That's going to explain a lot. Right? Deuteronomy 28 and 46. In order for y'all going to the game tonight? Oh, okay. If you don't mind, we got here at a restaurant or something?
Let me ask you a real question.
Go ahead, sir.
How does slavery, how did he account
Let me show you. Deuteronomy chapter 20, inside of verse 15.
It's the book of Deuteronomy, chapter 28 and verse 15. But it shall come to pass, if thou wilt not hearken unto the voice of the Lord thy God, to observe and to do all his commandments and his statutes which I command thee this day, that all these curses,
Now, curses are a bad thing. You agree, right?
that all these curses shall come upon thee and overtake thee.
So we're going to be cursed, right? Let's read about some of the curses. Before we do, read 46.
The book of Deuteronomy, chapter 28 and verse 46.
Real quick, rhetorical. And I know this is the Capital One Arena. They didn't have all these signs up. And I know that this is the Capital One Arena. If there was no Capital One Arena on the building at all, there was nothing on this building, and I know that this is the Capital One Arena. It would be hard to figure it out, right? Go ahead.
Verse 46. And they shall be upon thee for a sign, and for a wonder, and upon thy seed forever.
God said these curses are going to be on his children for a sign and a wonder. Let's figure out if this happened to the so-called blacks, Native Americans, and Hispanics, of Negroid and Indian descent, or if this happened to everybody on earth. Read 32.
The book of Deuteronomy, chapter 28 and verse 32. Thy sons and thy daughters shall be given unto another people, and thine eyes shall look and fail with longing for them all day long.
So, what people went into slavery and didn't have the power to get their children back? When the white man just came in and just snatched the little girl and said, "Go put them on the cart." Kids crying. Oh, do we have any power to stop that? Can we call the Black Power Nation that comes swooping in and kill the white man for us and give up our... That didn't happen, right? That went on for how long? Hundreds, right? You agree? Y'all agree? Hundreds of years? Go ahead. Read 37.
Verse 37. And thou shalt become an astonishment, a proverb and a byword among all the nations.
What's the nation's favorite word? Everybody uses. The white boys, right? The Israelis use it. Everybody uses it. Nigga. Nigga. Isn't that the most famous word on the earth? Everybody loves to use the N-word. All the rap music, everybody's a rapper, right? You would agree, right? Right? Black is a negatory term. African American is a negatory term. You can't be from two countries, right? Colored, Afro-American. These are all not our names. The Japanese got the Japan, China. Italians got, they got actual nationalities. We have colors and ground boxes and cartoon characters, right? So those are proverbs and bywords. Those aren't our names. Who's famous for having those derogatory terms put on the people? Who's the most famous people for being called outside their names?
Outside their names?
Yeah. Right. Go to 40, what you got? 47? Yes, yeah. 41.
Thou shalt begot sons and daughters, but thou shalt not enjoy them, for they shall go into captivity.
That happened to us when we came over here. It wasn't like a vacation. So that happened to the Israelites, because we're reading about the Israelites. And so far, you just said that's all happened to us. Go to 48.
Therefore shalt thou serve thine enemies, which the Lord shall send against thee in hunger, and in thirst, and in nakedness, and in want of all things.
That happened to us when we came over here. We opened up textile businesses, and we are part of the 1% of the economics in this country. Do we control anything we got over here? Have we ever controlled anything since we got over here? Can we tell a white man you can't live over here and you can't work here and we're going to shut your plant down, we're going to run a highway for your business? Black people did that? No. Just check. Go ahead. Keep going.
And he shall put a yoke of iron upon thy neck until he hath destroyed thee.
So we got Cardi B, Megan Thee Stallion, Little Kim, Puff Daddy, Biggie Smalls. I love pop. That's destroyed. Right? When you're talking about killing, robbing, and raping your own people, the Chinese, the Japanese, the Arabs, the white man, he doesn't do it. He doesn't do it. Nor can you find any proof of him doing it.
And they also say that.
I mean, as far as ignorant talk, they kill each other more than we do, but they don't brag about it and make goddamn Grammy-nominated albums about killing 300-400 people. Nobody's getting an award for that unless you're a black man. Right? Or a white boy who talks about it, or a Chinese boy who talks about it, going in the hood and spraying a block.
We'll always be oppressed.
Oppressed and depressed, right. Let me give you a couple more. Jump to 64.
Book of Deuteronomy, chapter 28 and verse 64. And the Lord shall scatter thee among all people from the one end of the earth even unto the other.
That happened in the sub-Saharan slave trade, right? Because we went to Portugal and there's places like that in Spain. And it also happened in the transatlantic slave trade. Those slave ships went everywhere. There you go.
So who's that talking?
These are the Israelites. These are God's chosen people. God loves them above all other people on earth. But God said that these things will happen to you forever. You will be cursed if you don't listen. So far, would you say that's us as a people? Sound like it, right? Anybody else can you? The Chinese went through that. Japanese went through that. Arabs went through that. We just read because we didn't read 15 again. Read 1. Read 1. Deuteronomy 28.
The book of Deuteronomy, chapter 28 and verse 1.
Go ahead.
And it shall come to pass, if thou shalt hearken diligently unto the voice of the Lord thy God, to observe and to do all his commandments, which I command thee this day, that the Lord thy God will set thee on high above all the nations of the earth.
God said he's going to set us above all people in it if we keep these laws, statutes, and commandments. Right? But this would happen if we didn't. Read 15.
Verse 15. But it shall come to pass, if thou wilt not hearken,
So if we don't listen, hearken is listen, right?
unto the voice of the Lord thy God,
to God's voice, which are his words in his book. Go ahead.
To observe to do all his commandments and his statutes.
Salakia. Observation, that's very important. Because when you read it, it says, don't kill, don't steal, love your brother. God's punishing us for not doing this. Don't have any other God before me. Right? We are the biggest worshipers, and we love it. We got an itchy ear, we love a good gossip story. Right? Go ahead.
To do all his commandments and his statutes which I command you this day, that all these curses shall come upon thee and overtake thee.
Read 68.
The book of Deuteronomy, chapter 28 and verse 68.
And don't we suffer from don't we suffer from every negative effect across the board? Poverty, AIDS, disease, just downtrodden people, aren't we at the top of those lists? Pretty much, right?
So let me ask you this real
Yes,
quick.
sir.
What has been done?
Come a little closer.
Disobedient to the Lord?
If what?
Is what we did, we were disobedient to the Lord.
Right.
Is that them being disobedient to the Lord by treating us that way?
It's not a catch-22. Yes and no, right? Because all these other nations on the earth, they're here to punish us. The earth wouldn't be here if it wasn't for the Israelites. So all the other nations God created, their job is to raise up when he tells them to come deal with us. That's why the Israelites went to
So
slavery.
when will we stop being punished?
When Christ comes back and you and all the other Israelites start realizing that they're the chosen and start treating their brothers and sisters like they're the chosen, like Egypt, right? Did we go to war with the Egyptians? No. We started to listen to Moses and love each other, and God sent plagues on Egypt, right? We didn't fight the so-called Egyptians, and we won't have to fight the white man. God is going to raise up plague after plague after war after war. That's why America's in such a peril state today. Because more Israelites are waking up every day and they're realizing that the God of this Bible, that black people believe that the white man wrote is actually your book, it's your history, it's your archaeology, right? This is your standard of living. More and more brothers and sisters are coming back to that fact. So God is putting more and more curses on America. Let me just finish this last verse and I'm going to jump to what's going to happen to the white.
The book of Deuteronomy, chapter 28 and verse 68. And the Lord shall bring thee into Egypt again with ships.
Now, when you look at the back of your dollar bill, what do you have there? You got pyramids, right? Why? Why is there an obelisk in D.C.? Why? Egypt is actually the real name of Egypt is Mizraim, right? Egypt is what the Romans called that name, right? Because there was so much slavery going on. So when you see these Egyptian relics in America, these Roman-style buildings in America, they're letting you know, y'all the Israelites, we still got you in slavery. We managed to get y'all our favorite slaves back, and we are going to build America up, right? And we're going to conquer you and oppress you. But God said they went too far. Excuse my language. They went too far. They furthered the affliction that God allowed them to do to us. That's why they got to pay double. They got to pay us back double.
That's what I wanted.
That's what you want? Yeah.
One of my questions.
Let him finish this. I'm going to get that.
Will bring thee into Egypt again with ships by the way whereof I spake unto thee, and thou shalt see it no more again. And there ye shall be sold unto your enemies for bondmen and bondwomen, and no man shall buy you.
So we're going to be sold to our enemies for bondmen and bondwomen, and no man shall buy us means redeemed. Synonym for buy is redeemed. Back in that Leviticus 25 and 48, get straight to the point. We could redeem our brother when they were sold into slavery. We could go and pay for them to get them back. And we're Africans, right? Every brother believes he's a damn Egyptian nowadays or African, and they're related to us. Why didn't they come get us when we were sold? They were the ones doing the selling, right? But there were other African nations with navies and armies. They could have fought the white man. They had great kingdoms. The white people wasn't trying to kill the natural African. He was trying to get the natural African and sell them to Hebrews. Right? The Igbo tribe, the Ashanti tribe. Right? The greatest, smartest people that ever lived.
So is that why you say they went too far?
Well, we're going to get it when God said they went too far. What is that? Jeremiah 30 and 16. Jeremiah 30 and 16. I know, okay, that's why we're trying to stand up here. I hear you're interested. You're not interested because these verses are interesting.
Self-knowledge, period.
Yeah, I got you, man. And I'm not trying to convert you to a religion. I'm just letting you know this is your biblical heritage. I'm trying to wake you up to the fact you're not a black man. You're an Israelite. Like you have Chinese, Japanese, so-called Anglo-Saxons or Caucasians. You're not an African American. They didn't steal African Americans from the west coast of Africa and the West Indies. They took Israelites. Right? Go ahead.
The book of Jeremiah, chapter 30 and verse 16. Therefore, all they that devour thee shall be devoured, and all thine adversaries, every one of them, shall go into captivity. And they that spoil thee shall be a spoil, and all that prey upon thee I will give for a prey.
Go ahead.
For I will restore health unto thee, and I will heal thee of thy wounds, saith the Lord, because they called thee an outcast.
They did what?
They called thee an outcast, saying, this is Zion whom no man seeketh after.
So the weird is Israel, who nobody cares about. Give me Ezekiel 35 and 15. All right. Give me one more, can you? Give me Ezekiel 35 and verse 5.
Book of Ezekiel, chapter 35 and verse 5.
Who lives in Israel right now? So-called white people or black people? White people, so-called white people. They're European and Russian.
Is that where the Israelites came from?
That's where we came. We got kicked out for disobedience.
Yeah.
And then during the conquest of time, you had Palestinians. Then you had the white man that came in, right?
Yeah.
Go ahead.
The book of Ezekiel, chapter 35 and verse 5. Because thou hast had a perpetual hatred.
So white people perpetually do this. That means forever. They can't help it. You ever see that? Not to make light, but a guy was dealing with a mentally ill child. And the cops came. And they called the cops on the mentally ill child. And the nurse or the guy who was over the mentally ill child was a black man, big guy. So he laid it down, but the child was laying down. The child, I think, was Caucasian. And the cop shot him. He said, why'd you shoot me? I'm laying down, got my hands up. He said, I don't know why. No, I did. He had to shoot. He had to. Go ahead. They're evil because of their ancient foreparent Esau, who hated Jacob. And that perpetuated throughout his words. They hated us. Right? And that's not every single white individual who is on the earth wants to hurt a black person. Most of them are docile. They don't want to hurt and conquer anymore because they have the earth. Who are they going to kill? Each other? There's nobody left to kill. We're good. I can stand out here and call them devils all day. What can I do? I can't tell him he can't live in his house. I can't stop his check from coming. They can do that to us all day long because they've done it. And they're going to continue to do it. Because why?
Because thou hast had a perpetual hatred and hast shed the blood of the children of Israel by force of the sword in the time of their calamity, in the time that their iniquity had an end.
So in the time of our calamity, when we were down and out, right, and our iniquity, right, had an end. Go ahead.
Therefore, as I live, saith the Lord God.
And this is what you want to know what God said about what's going to happen to them. Right?
I will prepare thee unto blood, and blood shall pursue thee. Since thou hast not hated blood.
Since the white man, the European nations, the EU, right? Just because they didn't hate blood, they loved killing the Israelites. They slaughtered over 77 million Native Americans, right? They slaughtered 99 million Africans coming over to the west coast of Africa. they used to call Jamaica a damn a torture place. Yeah, it was a wild place. Right? That's where that was the white man who wrote that book. The Willie Lynch letter. He came from Africa.
One last one.
Go ahead.
The book of Revelation. So it's the last book of the Bible. Revelation chapter 13 and verse 9. If any man have an ear, let him hear. He that leadeth into captivity.
If you lead people into captivity, go ahead.
You shall go into captivity. And he that killeth with the sword.
77 million Native Americans had to die so the white man can have a Capital One building in D.C.
Must be killed with the sword.
God said you gotta die. Get numbers. You can walk down the street, you're gonna hear me. But brother, listen, you're an Israelite. I thought I had my flyers, but I left my bag at home. I'm afraid to tell my brothers, but if you look up HOI, Dragons, the Dragons Den, or HOI, Iron Sharpens Iron, you'll find more of these teachings and get more edification. Good being you, y'all have a lovely night. Read that. Numbers chapter 35 and 32. Right? Since you didn't hate blood. Matter of fact, we're going to drop it. Matter of fact, you got it or you didn't get it? You got it? Okay, brother.
The book of Numbers chapter 35 and verse 33. So ye shall not pollute the land wherein ye are. For blood it defileth the land.
Blood defiles the land. Go ahead.
And the land cannot be cleansed of the blood that shed therein, but by the blood of him that shed it.
Right? So if you like to kill 77 million Native Americans, 99 million African Americans went to slavery, so you can have a Capital One arena and watch your funky little game, right? What's supposed to happen? Since blood defiles the land, what's going to happen?
Blood that is shed therein, but by the blood of him that shed it.
It is Exodus chapter 21 and 16. So if you like to shed blood and call this land America, God says he's going to shed your blood and bathe your blood all over these streets. Go ahead.
The book of Exodus chapter 21 and verse 16. And he that stealeth a man,
and he that steals men, right? I ain't talking about your little girlfriend, your little quarrel with a guy that y'all both like. Well, that's not the type of stealing I'm talking about, right? We talk about chains and whips and no mercy, right? And subjugation and marginalization and death and destruction. Go ahead.
And he that stealeth a man and selleth him, or if he be found in his hand, he shall surely be put to death.
So if you steal people and they're still living in the land where you stole them, they're still in your possession, God says what?
He shall surely be put to death.
So you gotta have to die for that. That's not these brothers on the corner having to say this or having an opinion on it. Because my opinion doesn't mean a damn thing. It's the Most High. It's thus saith the Lord and nothing else. Right?